Yo, what's good, good people? We are live right now on the Underdogs podcast. This is episode 17, Energy, and we got Hartford, Connecticut's own Miss Chris. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Don't forget that $sign.
real talk. Yeah, but as you know, we got Fat Cat Energy right now on the show today. So we appreciate you taking time out your schedule to kick it with the Underdogs. But in 30 seconds, could you tell the
Thank you
people?
for having me.
Oh, for sure. And when we gonna kick it off though in 30 seconds, like what would you like to share, to the people about Miss Chris outside of, her profession, your artistry?
Yeah, so I'm me, Miss Chris. Don't forget that $sign. I'm just staying in my lane, minding my business, drinking my water, getting my money. That's about it.
Real
as
talk.
you should, as everybody should.
Nah, I'm digging that for real. So before we even kick it off too, you know what I mean? I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna play it before I threw you in here. But speaking of Fat Cat Energy, she wildin'. Real.
Ooh, he got the receipt.
Yeah, okay. You know it.
Lil batch, nigga pull all his cash out, never finance it. I'ma always cash out, go sick on the beat. I'ma 15 minutes up, time to take the trash out. Can't compete where you don't compare. A few weeks past, bitch, still ain't getting well. Four-wheel drive
logo on the grill.
Tell me, what's a snack to a meal? To him, it's dessert when he eat it. Pussy so bomb, he in love and wanna see it. Nah, cause I'm taxing for my time. All I do is mind my business while I sip my wine. Miss Chris better not forget the $sign. Cannot the hustle even if it's 9 to 5. Well, she could do both in some kicks and knee highs. If you think that's goals, I'm setting the bar high. Ooh, she wildin', she do her thing. I see her my Chanel on the big frame. She wildin', she do her thing. I see her my Chanel on the big frame. Bees on the keys, all black 6 speed. Can't keep up with me like
this
Kim
is
and
the
Kylie.
beginning.
Bees on the keys, all that 6 speed. Can't keep up with me like Kim and Kylie. If I spend it, then I'ma get it right back. Whole Foods, rubber bands, wrapped around a few stacks. Everything organic, we kill on the side, please. Say,
I love that.
I could do this in my sleep. Pillow talking niggas try to sleep on me. It'd be your worst nightmare if you sleep on me. Got him shookin', got him coppin', please. Got him shookin', got him coppin', please. Little bitch, she wildin', she do her thing. I see her my Chanel on the big frame. She wildin', she do her thing. I see her my Chanel on the big frame. Bees on the keys, all black 6 speed. Can't keep up with me like Kim and Kylie. I said bees on the keys, all mad 6 speed. Can't keep up with me like Kim and Kylie. Y'all thought it was over, but this has just begun. Bitches be pressed while I'm out having fun. Why so serious with my joker face? Bitches be pressed, so I can't relate. Real niggas feel me though, y'all really hear me though. On a regular day, juicy sweats with a drip of Moschino. You done know, go viral, spread like virus with the sick flow. OG in the game like Nintendo. I'm about that life, I don't use any cheat codes. Savages pull up cause it's a green light when I say go. Better take notes from head to toe. I keep 10 toes down while the others fold. Holla at me. She wildin', she do her thing.
Send chills down my body.
Nah.
She wildin', she do her thing. I see her my Chanel on the big frame. Bees on the keys, all black 6 speed. Can't keep up with me like Kim and Kylie. I said bees on the keys, all mad 6 speed. Can't keep up with me like Kim and Kylie. Miss Chris, sun for the summer.
Don't forget the $sign.
That's right.
Oh man. There you have it, man.
Ooh, that was a time to be alive.
Oh, we definitely gonna piggyback on that too. You know what I mean? I was supposed to play it if I brought you in here, but it's only right. You know what I mean?
Right, baby. This is what we do.
Nah, facts though. We're gonna talk about that, and we'll start by the way too. That's big.
Okay.
That's like one of the biggest urban platforms we had before all this stuff going on. They were independent, but So originally from Hartford, Connecticut. Are you from there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am. My family's from Jamaica though, but they moved to Connecticut like back in the day. So I was born here, but it's cool.
Yeah, I'm surprised though. Like you say, your folk from Jamaica, but then ended up in Connecticut. Like usually, like
I know.
folk be from Jamaica, and the first spot where a lot of people really come through, Haiti or something like that, be Florida. Yeah,
so. I know. I ask them every winter because it be brick up here. It get cold. Like the snow is just like I literally ask my parents every winter, like, why did y'all choose Connecticut out of all places? But you know, there's just like opportunity and all that fun stuff. So that's how we ended up here. But
that's what's up.
I have to always go back.
Nah, for real. So like, what it was like for you growing up in that state though, like in that area, you know what I'm saying? Like what is like Connecticut? Like, I'm gonna be honest, you don't really hear too much about it like that for real. Like, you know, so I'm just like, what's the atmosphere? What's the vibes like up there? You know.
You know, it's funny when we was going to state, like when we both went to VSU, when we started there, a lot of people would ask me the same thing, like, they'd be like, are there Black people there? Like they think it's all like farmlands, and I'm like looking at myself like, well, you know, but
I mean, it's right there. It's right there for real.
They just always relate it to New York. They're like, oh, you're right next to New York, but they don't really look past New York. So growing up in CT, you know, it's been fun. Like most people would say it's a small state. So for some, I guess it gets boring after a while, but I always seem to have fun. You know, I just be chilling with my friends or whatever. And I kind of had the experience of like knowing what it's like to grow up in the city and like growing up in the suburbs. So I have a little bit of best of both worlds, but it was always lit.
For sure. So like,
the move.
Just for the people that be second guessing with Connecticut with all these questions, you know what I mean? So like, what are some of the must go to spots when they come there? You know, if they was to ever go through or just want to visit though. Like, what's your top list spots to hit up?
Well, for me, honestly, I'm like a nature person, and I feel like CT, we're known for having like just great scenery.
Oh, word.
Just like, so I like to hike. I haven't done it as of recently, but we have some really cool places to hike on Talcott Mountain, and there's a bunch of like trails and stuff, and you just see nice calm bodies of water. It's really, really nice, especially in the spring and summer. But other than that, I'm like a foodie. I like to go out to eat. I like to make food, but definitely where I grew up, we have this place called Blueback. It's like a downtown area. There's like a lot of shopping. You can eat there. They have bars and just stuff like that. Or go downtown Hartford. That's the capital. They have pretty much the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of partying because there's supposed to do. Can I touch?
Nah, yeah, you do your thing on her.
Oh.
You back on. We independent. We on the black on independent network too, by the way. You know what I mean? So hey, we independent over
here. But yeah, it's cool. Like if you ever want to come up, spin the block with me, I got you.
Yeah, for sure. Nah, I like you brought up scenery because that's a big thing. You know, like a lot of our folk, you know, need to be in tune with nature. You know, it's just so much.
Yeah.
When you're on a spiritual level too and stuff like that, all the time spent in phones, everybody just take a break and go clear your mind. You know what I mean? So
yeah, especially because I'm so busy all the time, like doing the music stuff. Like if I'm not working, I'm doing my music stuff, whether it's shows or shooting videos or whatever. Yeah. So whenever I get the chance to just like relax, I make time for that.
Most definitely. So like where did all this come from though? Like when did you start to gain the liking to the entertainment industry? Like around what age would you say?
The funny thing is I would say I'm like a music baby. I'm like a child of music because my dad actually was a DJ. He still DJs for like weddings and stuff, but he used to be like in the nightlife scene doing like clubs and stuff like that. So I always grew up around music, and then I've always been involved in it personally since I was like a kid, like 5. I used to play instruments, like the
word.
Yeah, I had a piano, and I was in the choir at school, so I always knew. You know how like little kids write like, "Oh, I want to be this when I grow up." Like I always said I wanted to be a musician. Like I look back at my notes from elementary school, so. It's not like one day I woke up and it was like the coolest thing to do. Like
Nah, you've been already involved with it. Nah, I'm feeling that.
Yeah.
literally today you can expect that from a lot of folks where they just wake up one day and
Yeah.
now I want to rap. Like
It's like the bandwagon thing right now,
yeah.
like, you know, because they got so many influencers and
Mhm.
Insta people and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
everybody want to rap. And,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
if you can and you blow from it, that's
yo,
cool too. But like,
no,
I've been doing this.
definitely. Nah, we gotta make that be known because I actually just did my episode yesterday and I was being asked some questions, but I'm talking time before, you know, getting opportunities before social media and everything like that. So, you know, once we were saying when social media came around and now these labels got to get you for your likeness and how many followers you got and all that type of stuff. Like beforehand, you had to actually know somebody or have an agent go shop
Right.
you a demo with these labels. Like they had to go person.
Yeah.
Now the labels, they all they got to do is get on social media and see what following going
numbers.
on with algorithm.
Yeah.
So, big
And
difference.
that's kind of bittersweet because I feel like there's so many people that I know personally and just so many people out there in the world where it's like they don't have a huge following and they're really, really
They're
talented.
very talented.
And sometimes, like people get overlooked like that just because they don't have like 1 million followers. And it's like, guys, like, do we want talent or do we want followers?
Yeah.
We do want followers too, but the talent got to be behind it.
Yeah, they be just looking at that influence base. You ain't even got to be talented all the way because they'll develop you as an artist. You got writers and all type of stuff. So, but so like, who would you say, you know, are some of your favorite, you know, musicians or entertainers growing up that kind of inspires you?
Well, my favorite all time, the funny thing is Aaliyah.
Okay.
And even though she's a singer, like she was the first person I knew as a child growing up where I was like, oh my God, I want to be like her. Like, because she was singing, she, you know, she had Tim and Missy and she had the Fire Beats and she was dancing. I did dancing in school too. So I was like, wow, like she's really like the do it all girl. That's how I felt about it. And I always just like admired her and stuff like that. But other than her, like as far as rap, I'll definitely say Missy. I love Missy, Aaliyah.
That creativity.
How she creates. Yeah, that's what I try to do with my visuals. And when you think of Missy, you know whatever video she got on the TV, it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be popping. It's gonna be something you never seen before. So I would definitely say Missy's up there for me. I love Nas. I love Jay-Z. I love Biggie. You know, I'm a 90s baby, so I love Kim. I love Foxy. So I think I got a little bit of everybody, you know, as far as that aspect.
Nah, that's dope. You know, you mentioned that with like Missy and Aaliyah, because like I could see that in like your own type of style and your sauce. Like it's the oil behind you. Like when you get with your videos, I see your visuals, I see all the, you know, the type of stuff you kind of just got your own style, like, and that's dope. And it's like you can see the creativity behind the photos and everything. Like, nah, I could definitely see that. So, you know what I'm saying? Mentioning, no, definitely. Nah, I'm the type of person that, you know, being that I've been doing music for a while and always been, you know, somewhat dibbling and dabbling in it, is like I'm a create. When you're a creative person, it's like I'm a person with words, you know. So it's like when I'm listening to music, I'm seeing what I can take from it, or I'm hearing these bars and lyrics. You know, it's just more than just the beat building around it. You know, when a lot of people now, all you need is a catchy beat. You know, but I'm like your song you just had, the one you just had on World Star. I'm instantly already hearing in the chorus the throwback record, and I said she put a spin on it, and then you were just going in too. Like I'm listening for all that stuff.
Thank you.
Like what can I take from the record? You know, but nah, definitely. So I noticed you said you was from your people from Jamaica. So like, how often do you go back and visit, and what part of Jamaica are they from? Like your people really like originally from?
Truthfully, I haven't been since 2015. I went for Christmas, like 2014 into New Year's, and I was there for like a month and some change. So I at least am happy that I was there for such a long time the last time I went. But then COVID happened and like all that stuff. But I'm overdue to go back very soon. I still have family out there, so you know, I could always go see them. But my mom, she's from St. Andrew and my dad's from St. Mary, so they're not from like the same parish. They're called parishes, but It's a little bit of, a little bit of both of them. I have some family in Kingston, which is the capital. I'm sure you know Kingston,
Right.
Jamaica.
Yeah.
There's just so many places that I still haven't seen, even though I've been there plenty of times. So I definitely have to go.
Nah, Jamaica, whole vibe though. I like the whole vibe.
Yeah,
Like, as soon as you get off the plane, it feel like home. Like,
yeah.
damn, I feel like that
Christmas
over
in
here.
Jamaica is like 10
Yeah.
10. Christmas or the holidays period in Jamaica. Because when I think of Christmas, because I'm from the north, I'm thinking of snow and like all
Yeah.
that stuff. Christmas in Jamaica, you on the beach, like
Yeah.
you
For
waking
real.
up to palm trees, so you just can't complain about anything.
Nah, most definitely. Like that's the type of vibe I get. Even though you know what I'm saying, like I be feeling like over here it's like, man, it's so much going on. But like when you just take a break and go somewhere where people like you over there, it's like everybody got that home type of vibe, like brotherly, all type of stuff. Like when it's
Yeah,
like over here, it's like it's just different, in a way, But
yeah. America's crazy.
yeah, and
It's
then
not
I'm
even
here.
surprising no more.
And I'm hearing that they like, when one of my neighbors, he Nigerian, he just came from Nigeria, and I had like two neighbors, and he's like, man, I seen the most guns when I came over here in America. He's saying over there in Nigeria, you can't have
Yeah,
guns like that, man. But he was just like,
yeah,
they government corrupted, but he's seeing more opportunities over here. But he was like, it's messed up how they try to paint the picture of how we are to try to put us against them type of vibe, because the
yeah,
media and the news is all they see before they come to America. So they be thinking
yeah,
like that we some savages, we don't like African people and all type of stuff. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
yeah.
So
I'm just happy to be here in one piece.
for
The way
real.
everything's going.
So it's like, obviously you being a music artist, like, which would play like a major role. But like, with that being said, how much of an impact does music have in your life? And like, I'm trying to figure out, because when I ran into you, I'm like, I don't really remember her doing too much music like that for real. So it was like when you just came out, I was like, okay. I said that was a hidden gem right
Yeah.
there. But I could
The
tell like
funny thing is,
it was an aura you had though, that I could tell you was creative in some way. Like, but I just didn't know
thank
about the
you.
music.
When I was at state with you, like I told you, I've always done music, I've been involved. But when I was at school, like I was really just on my school stuff. And
Right.
so I have recorded one song in Richmond. My first song I recorded in
Yeah.
Richmond, and then I just left it alone for like 5 years. Because I wanted to finish school, like I wanted to finish and like be able to focus or finish strong or whatever. But that's why there's some people from state, they're like, wow, like they had the same reaction as you. Like I didn't know you was doing this, because I really
Right.
only shared it with my family. But then
Right.
once I put it on my first song on SoundCloud, and I received like a lot of good energy, a lot of good feedback about it. So people started asking me, there was like, when's the next project? When's the next song? And I was like, oh, like I didn't know y'all was expecting me to do this for real. But then once they started asking me more and more and more, I was like, okay, like I could do this. Like this is cool. So I just kept going. I finished school, and then I picked it back up in 2018, like 2 years after I graduated.
Yeah. So Virginia State alumni we have as well too, right? Yeah, state alumni, Trojan, by the way. So
Trojan
that's
pride.
for real. We done have I done reached out to a lot of folk, just from the networking and good relationship I kept, from being a state, because that's kind of what my thing was. Like I value all the networking and stuff I was able to, accomplish out there, but my focus was just like it was just like I
We've
was
always
already
stayed connected though.
Yeah,
Like
that's
even
how it
when
be.
you moved, because when I went to Florida earlier in the year, I had a show and another radio interview, and that's why I hit you up, because I thought you were still in Orlando. I was like, oh, I wonder what he's up to, and he was like, nah, I'm out here in May, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay. And then it's been up ever since. But yeah, we've always stayed connected some way somehow.
Yeah. Like I just figure like, with people like the guest I had on the other week, it's just like I ain't talked to bro in about 10 years, but he doing this thing. We just picked up where we left off from. That's how it be sometimes with people. You ain't gotta hear from them every day or whatever, but it's just all about how y'all relationship was, and you just pick up and keep going. But all right. So who were? Oh, you say you already gave who was influential. So, what was one of the couple of records, from these artists that made you put them in a category to be influential to you when you speak of Aaliyah or Missy? Like, what is one of their records? One of your top favorite records
Well,
that you
for
was like when
me,
you heard it, you was
definitely.
like, you was like,
And
yeah,
I'm gonna name somebody too that I didn't just name because they was the one when they dropped their album who got me back in the booth, like while I was at school. But I'll start in order. Like Aaliyah, she was the one that I was like, yes, I want to do this. And her record for me was Are You That Somebody? That was the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
I
say
remember
that
that.
record, like, it was a big record, but when people think of her, they think One in a Million, they think Rock the Boat and stuff. But that one, it was like the singing, the dancing. There's a lot of people that, not saying that you can't lip sync, but there's some people that just can't do it all. And if you
Right.
can't, then they resort to that. But she was live, like her microphone was on, she's still dancing, she's not out of breath. And I was just like so blown away by the talent. And I was just like, oh my God, like I want to be just like her when I grow up. And she was
Right.
like cool. She was smooth, like girly, like pretty enough, but like she had like the kind of like tomboy, like style or whatever. And I just thought it was real cool how like she was able to be so pretty but not do too much. You know what I mean? Like I like people that don't have to do too much.
She
So
was just kind
that
of
was
just
always good
being
in my
herself
book.
in her own lane.
Yeah,
Pretty much,
like
Mm-hmm.
and then Missy, like all of her videos, Rain and Get Your
Oh
Freak
yeah,
On, like every single one of those videos, it's just like, what am I watching right now? And you're just like so just
you
taken
hooked
aback.
in.
And I was
Yeah,
just, yeah, like sometimes you have to figure out what was going on. And I was like, I want to make people think not too hard, but like think that more than surface level. So I love her creativeness. Nas for me is a lyricist, so I just love the stuff that he talks about. It's relatable. Uchi Wallin was a sample off of Uchi
yeah,
Wally. But Drake's album, Nothing Was the Same, that was the album that got me to start music. And it was something about that album. I remember just listening to it at 8, and I was like, this is like a no-skip album. Like, a
right.
lot of people think Take Care is his best album, which Take Care is a phenomenal album. I'm not taking away from that. But Nothing Was the Same. It was just like so many, I felt like it was like a palette, like so many different styles of music. And he was just smooth. You got the singing, you got the rapping. I like people that can do it all. That was the one that got me to start recording again.
Nah, that's important. The versatility. Just don't put me in one box. Like you don't know how my creative,
exactly.
how my mind is, working. Like I don't like to be predictable, in a sense.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
So before we dive in on you as an artist, for the people watching out there, in your own words, what is Fat Cat energy?
Fat cat energy. Woo! Fat cat energy, when you think of it, you think of just women because fat cat.
Right.
But, there's some dudes, I got the guys to say it too. They've been walking around saying it too. And I just feel like it's just you being true. Not saying that they have it, but they use like the lingo.
Yeah.
It's just you being true to yourself, like you being who you are, unapologetic, not caring about what anybody got to say, doing your own thing, getting to the bag. Whether it's doing something creative like music or photography, or if you're in school, just being productive and trying to be your best self. And like I said before, drinking your water, eating your oxtail, minding your business, trying to get that good skin, clear skin. That's what it is for me. And I try to embody that in my music so that when people are listening to it, they can feel that too. Like it's like feel good music. Whether you're getting ready to go out with your friends or you're in the house just chilling, it's like, I like this. I fuck with this.
Yeah. So when you out there streaming Miss Chris music, you're going to have Fat Cat energy listening. You know what I mean? It's going to get put on you.
Yeah.
Real.
Stamp that.
Yeah. So
and
like,
don't forget to shop $designs.com because we got the Fat Cat merch on there.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that too as well. So, what was the first record you put on wax that solidified your artistry for you to keep going? Was it the record you dropped on SoundCloud, or like which record was it?
Yeah. I have a few stamped records, I feel like, but definitely Uchi Wallin was like the
Yeah.
one that put me back on the map. Because I took that long break. I was at 8, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
years had passed before I recorded or after that first song. So Uchi Wallin, and plus I had the gold, y'all just saw in the video. That was like a wow moment for me. And when I
Yeah.
made it to World Star with that song, a lot of people reached out to me that I didn't think I was gonna get that type of
Yeah.
feedback. Like Nipsey's team, while Nipsey was still alive, his DJ reached out to me. And he was like, I can help get you in a international radio pool. So basically
Yeah.
like playing my music in different states, and I get to track it each month and just
Mm-hmm.
see like the reach that I'm getting or whatever in different clubs across the US and stuff like that. So I was just like, wow, like, this is it. And then Where the Cash At, that's another favorite of everybody's. That was like, that was actually smack in the middle of COVID. We still got COVID, but like right when lockdown happened, a few months had
Yeah.
passed, and I wasn't really doing shows like that because everything was closed. So I recorded that song and dropped it, and everybody was in the house, so they was listening like, wow, like we like this, and I was like, okay. So
Yeah.
just keep going from there, and then Fat Cat Energy, that's one of the more recent ones.
Okay, then, yeah, definitely. I mean, when I heard that Uchi Island, I remember hearing it like when you dropped it back then, but just to look at it and see the video again, like for you to have the art, like the creativity and everything, that I feel like that's when it's gonna be timeless though. When people just look at that video and just vibe to it, the lyrics,
Yeah,
everything, the content, like yeah, that's definitely a timeless one. Not to mention you did
yeah.
run up numbers too on World Star, by the way. You gotta put that out there for real. So,
Yeah, it was
um,
a good look.
so what is your recording process? When someone in the studio say they want to come do a feature, like what they gonna see you doing? Like, how do you create your environment? Like, what's your routine that gets you in that mode?
Well, actually, my cousin is my engineer and producer, so
Okay.
I'm usually with my cousin. It usually just be family or whatever, or just us two.
Yeah.
So it's cool vibes. People I'm already around anyways. But for me, my recording process, or at least when I write my songs, because yes, I do write no ghost writing.
Yeah. For
Um,
real. You gotta say
I do
that.
push my pen, but for
Mm,
me, it's like when I choose a beat, once I get that beat, I can go from there. And sometimes it's not a quick process. Like
mm-hmm.
sometimes I just be going through beats, and all depending, I guess, on what type of mood I'm in. I'm
Yeah.
like, do I want to do something fast, let's say day after, or am I feeling like on my gangster shit? Am I about to pull
Mm-hmm.
up on somebody? Or am I doing
Yeah.
the late night love? But it's just like once I find the beat, which could take me like an hour or two,
Mm-hmm.
from there, like I have the song. Like I hear the beat and I'm like, okay, boom, 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 boom. Like, I've gotten songs done within like a half hour,
Yeah.
and for
For real.
me, people don't see the behind the scenes or whatever. Like Where the Cash At, I remember writing that on one of my friends' couch. Like I heard the beat and I was like, okay, boom. I didn't think, like, I knew it was gonna be a good song, but I didn't think people was gonna, like blow it up like that. So
They say it
it's just
usually be
cool
like
to
that
know.
though too.
Yeah. People don't
Yeah.
know like the process that it takes, but I think once I get the vibe, I get the beat and stuff, it's like easy for me to just come up with.
Yeah, they be saying like it usually be the songs you don't like be the ones that take off, or you don't think that's gonna really take off like that, and then they say them be your
Yeah.
smash records. But like
Yeah.
I'm about to say, so is it when you get the chorus? Do you feel like when you get the chorus, the song complete to you? When you writing a song, do you feel like it's when you get how you do it? You do verse first or chorus first, or
It all depends on the
yeah,
beat.
yeah,
But sometimes I feel like more times than others, I start with the hook.
yeah,
And then I drop or actually no, not the hook. I start with the verse and then I go to the hook.
mm-hmm,
Because I feel like you gotta come in strong. Like, what are we
yeah,
starting with? where's this
Yeah.
conversation going? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I start with the verse, and then sometimes I'll even write the second verse before I come up with the hook. But usually the hook is
Yeah.
like, like that's the part that everybody's like,
Yeah.
ooh, like, they're gonna
Yeah.
vibe with it anyway. So I think once you have a strong beginning and like a
Mm-hmm.
strong ending, you can do whatever with the hook. But
Yeah.
yeah, like, and then sometimes it's not even just when I'm sitting in the studio because I travel a lot, so I'll see things,
Mm-hmm.
like I'll go to places or I'll see new things and I'll put it in my notepad like, ooh, I tried this at this restaurant, I gotta put that the
Yeah.
bar or whatever. So it's just a whole process of just making my mind go and putting it on paper.
Yeah, I just had to ask that, to from another artist perspective, because I'd be like you said, it depends. Because if you write the verse, you can build the hook around the verse. Whatever's going
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
But then I'd be like, some beats, I'd be like, man, when I get the chorus, I already know where I'm going with this. Like, so
Yeah.
it'd be hit or miss sometimes. But so I noticed that you were chosen by Billboard to be a part of their NYU music industry program too. Like, what was that like?
Yeah, so actually I'm still in it. It's a year program and
Mm-hmm.
I was able to start whenever, but they, admitted me at the end of last year. So I
Yeah.
started a little bit after I did my Florida stuff early in the year in January, but I'm still doing it and it's pretty cool. Like it's more learning about like the business side versus
Right.
like the creative side of the music industry and just like knowing things that I should know since I'm taking it so serious, like just different titles, people that I should probably have on my team,
Mm-hmm.
like just making my creative process a little bit more stronger, knowing the ins and outs, like just legal matters, just everything that under
Yeah.
the sun that you should probably know before you put your whole body in it.
Nah,
Because before
that's
it was like
important.
I was just dipping in and just making
Mm-hmm.
my music and shooting the videos and stuff, but now I have a better understanding of how things actually work. So, I feel like anybody, whatever you're doing, you got to know these things, like the business side of it, so you can succeed,
That's the most
progress.
important part, because that's what screwed a lot of people up. Like you say before, like the internet really hit, how you can just pull up so much information now. Like when you hear bad
Mm-hmm.
deals back in the day with contracts and people not really knowing the business, like we talking superstar, we know back from like you say the 90s and all that type of stuff. Like once now there's so much
Yeah,
information out here, it's like it's really no excuse to learn the business now. Like you don't want to get in those
right.
360s or nothing. I mean, I don't know if 360s do be
Mm-hmm.
good. It just probably depends on what you getting yourself into.
They're no bueno.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want to end up in one of those. But
Yeah,
I'm
I heard.
independent, so
Yeah,
I'm just rolling, going with the flow until
yeah,
I see a million in my bank account. Then we could talk.
yeah. Nah, I feel like that independent route too, being it is how like open the game is now. I feel like that's the way for a lot of people, especially with streaming now.
Right,
So definitely.
right.
So you pretty much like you'll take the distribution deal though, right? If one on just want to partner with you just to do distribution on the marketing and stuff like that, like would you take an opportunity like that?
I mean, yeah, after reading all the fine print and stuff and making
Right.
sure my lawyer,
Yeah.
is good with it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't mind that. I like the freedom of being independent. That I don't mind the
Hmm.
distribution deal, but I like the
Yeah.
freedom
The
of being
other part is
independent because
man,
yeah, it's
that
like I
never
don't
gonna
have
be.
nobody telling me where to put the money, where to put the bread, or I don't gotta
Yeah.
split it up with nobody crazy like that. So
Or telling you how
it's
to how to create your music, and then when could you
yeah, or
drop your music?
limiting the music. Yeah, because some
Yeah.
people end up in deals and people want them to shoot out like 10 albums before they're out the deal, or they try to stop them from dropping a song because it's not on their time. And I don't want to be on nobody's time but myself. Like I started
Yeah.
on my time, so I'm like, why am I end up on somebody else's time now? It's too far
Yeah.
in it.
Then they tell you can't
So
do a
yeah.
feature with somebody, all type of stuff. Like
Mhm.
so.
Exactly. Ain't nobody.
All right, so we gonna take it back to 2018. We back on Uchi
All
Wiley.
right.
Um, so you like I said, it premiered on one of the first biggest black-owned platforms, World Star Hip Hop. And like you say in that video, you had a live goat. So let's talk about that video. Like, what was the vibe like during that time shooting, and like, what was your creative process to be like, I'm gonna put a real goat in my video? Like,
So
that a missing
I
moment?
actually, yeah, I rented out an Airbnb, and I just happened to have a goat with me, and they had like the pool and all that stuff.
Wait, you
For the
brought the
video shoot
goat?
or
Like,
whatever.
how did the goat get there?
Yeah,
How it get transported?
that's
Like,
my son.
oh,
His name is Terry.
wait, what?
His name is Terry.
Wow.
Terry the goat.
Terry the goat. I like that.
But
He got
yeah,
a cool name. He got a cool name. I like
yeah,
that.
like, and the
Yeah.
funny thing is, I've seen a few artists do that after
Yeah.
I had my goat in my video. So
I'm
I kind of
pretty
knew,
sure.
like, Wayne, Lil Wayne was, I don't know if he saw my video. I mean, it was on World Star, but Lil Wayne did it, Lil Baby did it, and I most recently seen Lotto have a goat in her video. But you know, I don't mind stuff like that. Like, I'm not the only person that can do it, but since the timestamp
You
showed
might
that I was
be
the first person,
you might be
yeah,
one
I
of
was
the
like, you know, I'm on the right track. You know, I was like, my creative mind is up there. Feel me? Like, if I got somebody like Lil Wayne doing the same thing, but I see it. I see it in a lot of my work, and I'm just like, I know I'm on the right path.
Most definitely, I be knowing that these artists, either they have some people on their team or they be licking themselves. But I know, like, a lot of artists, I ain't gonna really speak on the situation, but say they travel and go do shows in different cities, they be like studying the type of artist or something, and then you have an artist that have a hot song out in a city, and then the major artists are going to steal their song or steal they vibe from the record, and that would be cool. Like,
it doesn't happen just with music though. Like, I see it happen a lot with the fashion industry. Like, you know, like bigger designers will see someone submit their work for a contest, or they'll just see it, you know, they log into Twitter, they see it on the timeline, just like how we log into Twitter and see it on the timeline. So, you know, people just got to know what they're doing when they put stuff out there. You got to stamp it, you got to copyright it, you got to do whatever you got to do to protect yourself, because there's always going to be somebody out there that likes your stuff enough to try to run with it. And, you know, you get the shorter end of the stick when you do that to yourself, because it's like you have this big idea and then you end up not getting paid for it. I ain't trying to do that.
And then it's like all those, like you say, them designers and all them people, they got the money to fund that, so they gonna just check and see, like, all right, let's look in the database and see if they really on their business. If not, we gonna run with it.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta stamp your stuff.
Yeah. So Bragging Rights dropped in 2019. Was that an EP or a mixtape? And what are your favorite joints like off that project?
That was an EP. That was my first baby. I treat my music like my children. So when I dropped that, I was like, I knew it was done, but I was just like, oh my God, they're gonna show it to the world. But I was so proud of it, and I'm still proud of it. But my favorites on there, definitely, I would have to say That's So Fetch. That was like a girl song. I had a lot of fun shooting that too. Some girls pulled up, showed love. We had a lot of fun shooting, so it was pretty cool. And it was like based off Mean Girls, the movie, which is like one of my favorite movies. So it was cute. It was fun. Problem, that I recorded that song before I dropped the EP, or even came up with the EP. That was like my follow-up song to Ushi Wallin. And that was like, it was like a storyline actually from Ushi Wallin, because in the beginning of that video, I have somebody who's supposed to be playing like my manager, and they're watching Ushi Wallin on their TV, but they didn't pay me. So I had to pull up, and it was a problem. So it was like the gangster side of me. So we got like the cute, fun stuff, the pretty girl stuff, and then like pulled up with that thing on me and had to show them. But those were fun to record too, because it was like we did some real gangster stuff in that video, and it was cool. I ain't hurt nobody, but you know, I can't say that on camera anyway.
Nah, for real. So like,
cool.
So I also know you did you was booked for an international show around that time as well.
Yeah.
Like,
Let's talk about it. So I ended up going to Spain maybe like 2 months after I dropped that EP, I went with my best friends. That was like a few months before COVID, so everything was still open, everything was still
Yeah.
lit. And yeah, we went to Europe, and the love out there was just crazy because when you're from somewhere, like my state is pretty small, so when I do shows and stuff, it's love. Like people repost my stuff all the time or whatever, so I'm used to that. But then
Right.
when you go somewhere so far, like it's one thing to go to a different state, but I'm overseas now and like
Yeah.
a whole different continent. So
Right.
I feel like they received it really well, and I was treated very well. And I met a lot of people that I still have on my social media that follow me on Instagram, and they be leaving comments in Spanish. And sometimes I don't know what they're saying, but I know they got hearts next to it, so it must be good.
Yeah.
But I like the traveling part of the music stuff because I meet a lot of people. Like even if it's not at the show, like sometimes I meet people at the airport, and sometimes there's other artists coming from the same event, or just people in general, and they start talking to me and stuff. So I try to keep in contact with those people. And Spain was cool because it's like they have hip hop out there, but they're not really used to, the Black culture all the way
Right.
through like that. So
Right.
I had to show them the sauce, show them what it's all about, and they fuck with it.
Yeah, that's only right for real. That's big.
Yeah, it was
So
cool.
so like followed by that, you had Everybody Hates Chris EP that dropped last year.
Yeah.
What joint would you say received the most traction, and which is the single off that project that you was pushing?
Ooh, oh, definitely Where the Cash At. Where the Cash At, that was again thought of before the EP, but not too far apart. So I made that the leading single on the EP. I loved Everybody Hates Chris because I thought it
Yeah.
just made sense. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Everybody knows that show, and I threw my little dollar sign on top of that, sprinkled it. But
Don't forget that.
Where the Cash At was the leading single, and then I did a video for You Know My Body, which I never really had my friends in my videos, but I had one of my best friends in the video because I like name dropped her in the song. Shout out to Matt. But yeah, that was cool too. And I actually haven't recorded a lot of visuals for the songs on that EP, so I think I've done stuff since then that wasn't related to that EP, but I think I'm gonna go back and just like record some more visuals because there's still fire songs on there that some people haven't heard because people, they like to see the music video with it. So I think I might go dabble back into that. I don't know.
And what's gonna be the one that you thinking about shooting that you already got in your mind now?
I have one in mind. You guys are gonna have to follow that little username you saw scrolling by _ Big Daddy K, and make sure you just follow along, and you'll see.
Nah, definitely gotta keep them on edge. So
yeah,
you performed at South by Southwest in Texas this past May. Like, what was that experience like? I mean, March. What was that experience like for you on stage? And like, in one of the most really talked about, music festivals, like what was the energy on there?
That was pretty cool. That was my first time in Texas, and I actually have a really good friend that lives out there too. So I wasn't like out there by myself. I got them and their people to come, and it was just like a lot of love. Like, and the other artists that were there, like everybody's pretty much in the same boat at that point. Like once you get down there, like we're all there for one purpose. So everybody was pretty cool. I got that Southern hospitality. I met a few people that I'm still in contact with. I felt like everybody was just very motivational. Like we all cheered each other on and was just like, making sure you're ready to hit the stage and stuff like that. Like it wasn't no weird vibes or nothing like that. And the food was excellent, because I spent some time outside of the music stuff with my friend from out there. So she took me around and brought me to like the brunch spots and things like that. But overall, I had a great experience. I would love to go back. I haven't been to Houston yet, but I have family out there too. So I told them when I go back to Texas, I would visit. I would love to do another show in there. I really liked it. Really appreciated the love too.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, that was dope too, by the way. Make sure y'all go check out our footage too on our Instagram. And So like any memorable moments on stage, like you know, you want to share from your city to city experiences, like you know, performing.
Well, I always think of one of my first big shows in Hartford. That was when the baby came to town. I was part of the Baby on Baby tour, and that was like my first big show, like since I started doing music again. So it was super cool because I had my family come and my friends was there. Like even some of my coworkers came, and you know, I just felt like I had the audience like engaging with me, and especially it being one of my first shows and such a big show. I didn't know how they were gonna like receive my music. So when I heard them like saying back the words to my song, I was just like, oh, like they actually like me. But you know, it was pretty cool. And then like the shows outside of CT have been phenomenal too, because like I said, like these people don't know me for real. They could easily throw a tomato at my head. They really wanted to, but they they didn't do that. So I was very grateful, and you know, I think every show is a great show.
It's crazy. You're close to New York in a sense. So I heard New York, that's the type of vibes they be on. Like if you ain't popping like that, they start doing.
Yeah, New Yorkers, they tell you like it is. I tell you like it is too, so I'll throw it right back into the crowd. But you know, they will let you know, and I'm just so happy that every place that I've gone to so far, it's been nothing but great energy, nothing but fat cat energy. Love that.
Yeah, for real. So like which do you enjoy the most in your artistry, the recording process in the studio, performing, or shooting the visuals?
I love all of it. I love.
Nah, see, you gotta pick one. You gotta pick one. Which one that you like? When it's time to do it, that's the one that you like the most. Like, all right, it's time. You can't feel the same way about all three, but I know one of them you enjoy like a lot when it's time to do it.
Can I pick two then? 2 out of 3?
Come on. I mean, run it.
Because I have different reasons. I'll tell you the reasoning too. Because I was gonna say performing, because you know it makes it feel like the music's coming to life, and you actually get to see like head on how people are taking it. You know what I mean? When I just download it to Apple and Spotify, like I'm not with everybody when they hear a song for the first time, one of my songs for the first time. So I don't know what their response or their reaction is. But performing it, you get to see them, you get to interact, you get to talk to these people. It's always lit. I love that. But second runner up, definitely the visuals, just because I love the creative process of it. I love thinking about like how I'm gonna do it, picking the venue where I'm gonna shoot it at. I love putting together the outfits and like doing my makeup, and just like I usually have outfit changes for the visuals, so it's not like boring. I like to switch it up, different looks and stuff. And it's always chaotic. But there's always a lot of fun. So I enjoy both of those. But performing, I would definitely say performing.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good top two. It is hard though, because all of them, you know, it's the same type of energy. But
yeah, exactly.
So speaking of visuals, who is the cameraman behind your visuals, and which video would you consider to be your top work thus far? And no top two, top one, because you got some visuals. You got some visuals.
Well, I've had a few videographers shoot several of my videos. I've actually shot some of them myself, or at least edited them myself. My last that was just due to COVID, because I couldn't get people to shoot and things were closed, so I had to like apply my major, my VSU mass comm major, you know, and take some action, do it myself. But my boy Drizzy shot my last one, A.P, if y'all want to follow him. He does it all, but he shot my last one. That was for BIG. And then my favorite video.
Yeah.
They were all so fun. I would have to say Uzi Wildin, because I don't think anything's topping the GOAT. Like I've done some great videos since then, but the GOAT is like, you the GOAT. Like what more can you say? You know what I mean?
Terry definitely was lit in that video. He was definitely
Yeah,
lit.
it was. He was definitely the star.
So all right, so we gonna cut to it too. Any upcoming projects or events to expect from Miss Chris? What are you working on right now? Dollar sign.
Right now, dollar sign. Right now, I have a few people that reached out for features. So
Mm-hmm.
outside of my own projects, I got some things coming up. But outside of that, a lot of requests for features. So it's like different kind of artists too, not just rappers. I
Yeah.
got some singers in there, so I'm really excited about because like I said before, you gotta have the variety, try to appeal to majority of audiences. So I'm looking forward to that, and then I'm actually hosting this event. It's called Internet Hollywood. This event in CT. It's the third annual one, and it's just like a networking event where different
Mm-hmm.
musicians, models, photographers, they're present, they're doing interviews, people are performing. So this is gonna be my first event hosting and performing at one
Yeah.
event. So I'm looking forward to that. I've never done that before. And I think it's just gonna be cool. I performed at the one last year and a lot of people, a lot of people that I'm still in touch with and looking forward to doing the same this year. That's gonna be next month. So I'm prepping for that, just like reading over the lines because I gotta introduce people. It's gonna be like I'm gonna be all over the place. It's gonna be crazy, but I know you guys look for me there. The flyer will be posted shortly.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, make sure I head over to her Instagram page. You know what I mean? Check out her work, follow her, and just stay tuned for what she got coming. You know what I mean? But also, real quick for a shout out to the sponsor. Shout out to our
Yeah.
sponsor BOAMEDCB on Instagram. It's our black-owned cryptocurrency, our 40 acres in the mule. So everybody always talk about they want to be their own boss, entrepreneurs, but for us to get back in sync with each other, we have to build our assets up. And one thing that a lot of our culture lack is financial literacy because we spend the most money in
Mhm.
America. We spend trillions of dollars. We make them rich. So let's start investing in ourselves and build our people up and get our own motion going, our own formation, open up these, spots for the next generation and, just
Mhm.
be our own bosses in a sense. Uh, so shout out to BOAMEDCB on Instagram. Make sure you check them out. And also shout out to the network. We are now streaming on Signature Series Network TV.com, a black-owned independent network, by the way. So yeah, we got season 1 on there, season 2 coming soon. And we're coming soon to Fire TV and Roku. So stay tuned for that for the underdogs. But
That's right.
you know, we are now down to the very most important question that we ask everybody. So last but not
Okay.
least, well, first, I want to make sure we got you on here to bring you, your flowers and basically just give you your flowers to keep going, keep your motion, keep your foot on their necks. Don't let your foot off the gas and just appreciate what you're doing out here as an artist and putting your energy, this fat cat energy out there for the people. So
Yes.
definitely had to make sure we let these people know what's going on out here and what Miss Chris got in motion. So dollar sign for real. But last but not least, what does being an underdog mean to you, or when you hear the word underdog?
Um. Ooh, that's a good one. That is the most important, right? Underdog podcast. So I feel like the underdog is someone who may have not necessarily started out in the limelight, like they wasn't always receiving the flowers that they deserved, or maybe they developed, or there was growth somewhere where they should start receiving flowers, and then they end up coming up on top. Anyways, like even despite
Mhm.
obstacles they may have faced, or people not believing in them 1000%, but they still rise to the occasion and they come out on top.
For real. From the words of Big
Like
Daddy
me.
K on Instagram. You feel me? Nah, for real. I feel like that's everybody. Cause when you step into something, everybody want fast results right away. I mean,
Yeah.
it's possible to happen when you out here networking with people. You know what I'm saying? I don't take nothing from it, but it's the grind, the passion, and the heart that you put into it, and it take an underdog, work ethic. in a sense, you know,
Right.
to start seeing everything unfold the way you want it. I mean, if it happened fast, you know, under somebody else's terms, you know, like you say, signing for a label or something, you got to do it the way they want to do it. But when you actually
Right.
out here grinding for your dream and your, you know, your purpose and what you want to do, you know, it's like, hey, the work, consistency, you know, keep pushing.
Yeah,
But
that's what it's all about. We gonna come out on top.
yeah, got to. That's the only way. Ain't no other way.
Yeah.
But hey, y'all have it. You know what I mean? This was episode 17. Big energy, fat cat energy. You know what I mean? From Miss
Fat cat
Chris.
energy.
Don't forget the
Don't
dollar
forget
sign.
that dollar sign. That's right.
Yeah.
Make sure y'all follow me on the platforms, Instagram, Twitter. That's _ Big Daddy K, and it's on the screen if y'all can't spell. And make sure y'all check out my merch as well. I mentioned that earlier. That's $designs.com. I got something for the girlies. I got something for the fly guys. So make sure y'all look around and do some shopping. And yeah, hit me up.
Make sure I post that up for the people. $designs.com.
Yeah.
And
it's dollar, so DOLLA, no R.
Oh, dollar. Okay.
Dollar sign. Dollar bill, y'all.
Real talk. Oh man. Hold on. I got the wrong one up. Okay, there we go. $designs.com.
There we go.
Head over there and check that merch out. For real. But yeah, I'm looking forward to see what you got coming. Much. I mean, I've been watching the movement, been watching the motion. Always gonna support.
I know, I'm looking forward to your stuff too. You've been doing it up.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot, you know. So I'm just trying to keep my antennas on and keep pushing, you know, because definitely we got this Underdog EP Reloaded coming soon. We got the music video Organic Art is doing good numbers. Shot in Atlanta, by the way. Shout out to Film by Billy and my co-host Nation by Calder. So yeah, but you have it, everybody. You know what I mean? We appreciate you, Queen, for coming on here and spilling your sauce and giving your gem. You know what I mean? This will be on our YouTube. Season 2, episode 17. We out of here. Peace, goddess. Already.